Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about men that a lot of people overlook. A man's silence doesn't always mean he's not interested. And it certainly doesn't always mean he doesn't care. Sometimes that silence is the loudest declaration of love you will ever encounter. There are men out there who feel so deeply for a woman, who care so much about her, that the very idea of putting those feelings into words terrifies them. They'll sit there watching her laugh, listening to her speak, and in their heart, it's like a song is playing that's only for her. But he never turns the volume up for her to hear it. And you might think, if he really feels that way, why doesn't he just say it? Well, love isn't always about what's spoken. Some men love in a way that's quiet, steady, and hidden, because that's the only way they know how to protect both themselves and the woman they care for. See, here's the truth. A man who loves you in silence is often battling himself. He's thinking about whether he's good enough for you, whether he has what it takes to give you the life he believes you deserve. And so he holds it in, not because his feelings are weak, but because they are so strong they scare him. He doesn't want to risk losing the closeness he already has with you by revealing what's in his heart. He doesn't want to see that look on your face, the one that says you don't feel the same way, and have to live with that for the rest of his life. So instead, he chooses to love you from the shadows, believing that somehow that's better than risking the life. You'll see this kind of man in little moments if you pay attention. He might be the one who always checks if you made it home safe, the one who remembers things you mentioned in passing weeks ago, the one who shows up when you need help without you even asking. He might not tell you you're beautiful every day, but you'll notice the way he looks at you, like he's memorizing your face. And you won't catch him telling the world how much you mean to him, but his actions will tell you if you know how to read them. It's in the way he lets you talk about your problems without interrupting, the way he listens and gives you advice that comes from a place of genuine care, the way he steps back when you're happy with someone else, even though it tears him apart inside. That's a hard kind of love, to want someone so deeply, but to put their happiness above your own desire to have them. That's not weakness, that's sacrifice. And sacrifice is one of the purest forms of love there is. Now, here's the thing. Most of the time, women don't even know this kind of love is there. It's invisible unless you slow down and notice the details. And sometimes, by the time they realize it, the man has already stepped away, convinced he never had a chance. So, if you're lucky enough to spot it, if you see that quiet devotion in a man's eyes, don't just brush it off. That's a rare kind of loyalty in a world where so many people speak loudly but love shallowly. The truth is, his silence is an emptiness, it's depth. It's a deep ocean of feelings he's too afraid to let you swim in because he worries you might not be ready for the current. And sometimes that man will go through his whole life never telling you, because for him just being able to love you, even in secret, is enough. He doesn't need the title, the spotlight, or the recognition. He just needs to know you're okay, that you're smiling, that you're living the life you want. And if that means his love stays locked away in his heart, then so be it. Because for that man, loving you, even in silence, is still the most beautiful thing he's ever known. Let me tell you something that a lot of women don't always understand about men. Fear of rejection is one of the strongest forces in a man's life. You see, a man can stand in front of a crowd and speak with confidence. He can face business risks. He can even fight his way through life's toughest challenges. But when it comes to confessing his feelings to a woman he truly cares about, that fear becomes a giant wall. It's not because he's weak, and it's not because his love is small. In fact, it's often because his feelings are so deep that the idea of losing her altogether is unbearable. He would rather stay in the safety of silence than risk shattering the bond they already have. That fear of rejection doesn't just whisper in his ear, it roars, telling him that if he speaks up and she doesn't feel the same way, he might lose her friendship, her trust, her presence in his life. So he hides it, not because he wants to deceive her, but because protecting that closeness feels more important than chasing the unknown. Now, here's the thing. This fear makes a man act in ways that are both subtle and revealing if you know how to notice them. He might always be around, ready to help you with things big or small, but he never crosses that invisible line into confessing his love. He'll joke with you, spend time with you, and make you feel valued, but the moment the conversation hints at romance, he'll find a way to step back. Not because he doesn't imagine it, or he imagines it all the time, but because he's afraid that imagining is safer than reality. He knows that reality could bring a rejection he's not ready to face, so instead, he'll live with the ache of loving you in silence, because to him, that ache is easier than the pain of hearing you say you don't feel the same. So, ladies, when a man is in this position, he builds a mask of casualness, of friendship, of easygoing comfort. You might think he sees you the same way you see him, but underneath that mask is a heart that races every time you call his name. He studies your habits without you realizing it. The way you sip your coffee, the kind of music that makes you smile, the little sigh you let out when you're tired. He collects those moments like treasures. Because even if he never tells you how he feels, he's building a private world where you are the center. He might never buy you extravagant gifts or make grand gestures, but you'll notice he remembers the things you like, and somehow they always show up in small ways. Maybe he sends you a link to a song you love, or maybe he fixes something for you without you even asking. That's his love language, quiet, careful, and consistent. And here's what makes it even more powerful. He does these things without expecting anything in return. He doesn't do it to get your attention. He does it because caring for you is second nature to him. This kind of man isn't playing games. He's not stringing you along. He's protecting his heart and yours at the same time. He thinks, if I keep this inside, at least I can still be close to her. At least I can still see her smile. That fear of rejection doesn't mean he's a coward. It means he values you so much that the thought of losing you is worse than the loneliness of keeping quiet. And sometimes that's the saddest part, because while he's busy guarding his heart, he doesn't realize he's also hiding from a chance at the love he's been dreaming about. And if you ever notice that kind of devotion in a man, don't underestimate it, because loving you in silence takes more strength than you might ever imagine. There's a certain kind of man you might not notice at first, but he's always there in the background. He's not loud about his feelings. He's not out here making dramatic speeches, but if you pay attention, you'll see it. He's the one who protects you and cares for you without ever asking for anything in return. This man doesn't need to post about you. He doesn't need everyone to know how much you mean to him, because his love isn't about recognition. It's about making sure you're safe, supported, and never left to struggle alone. And sometimes that quiet, consistent care says more than 1,000 I love yous ever could. You'll see it in the way he steps in when you need help, even if you didn't ask. He'll be the one who offers his jacket when you're cold, who changes his schedule to make time for you, who takes on little tasks so you can breathe easier. It's not because he wants praise. In fact, half the time he hopes you don't even notice. He just wants you to be okay. That's his reward. In his mind, love is proven through action, not just words, and he's willing to show you every day, even if you never see it for what it is. This kind of man will stand by you in moments when everyone else walks away. He'll be the one who checks in after a hard day, who remembers the things you're worried about, who celebrates your wins even if no one else is paying attention. And the beauty of it is, he doesn't expect you to repay him. He's not keeping score. His heart isn't saying, I did this, so she owes me that. No, his heart is saying, I care about her, so I'll do what I can to make life easy. That's it. That's the whole motivation. But here's the thing, because he's so quiet about it, a lot of women overlook this kind of love. They think he's just being nice, or that's just the kind of friend he is. They don't realize that behind that steady presence is a heart that beats harder every time he sees her smile. They don't see that every little act of kindness is a piece of his love showing through the cracks because he doesn't have the courage or maybe the timing to just say it outright. And that's the real power of this man's love. It's not in grand confessions or big romantic gestures. It's in the everyday moments. The way he always makes sure you're on the inside of the sidewalk when you walk together. The way he remembers that you like your coffee a certain way. The way he notices when you're quieter than usual and asks if you're okay. Those are the things that tell you his feelings run deep. He's the man who will defend you when you're not there to defend yourself. The man who will drive across town to help you when your car won't start, even if it's the middle of the night. The man who will give up his own comfort to make sure you have yours. And the truth is, he doesn't need to say, I love you, because every move he makes is already sent. You just have to be paying attention. Sometimes his love is so quiet that it feels invisible, but if you ever take a step back and look at the pattern, the times he's shown up, the moments he's been there without you even asking, you'll see it clearly. You'll see a man who's been protecting you, caring for you, and putting your needs before his own, all while keeping his heart a secret. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a kind of love that's rare in this world. A love that doesn't shout but stays. A love that doesn't demand but gives. A love that doesn't need to be seen to be real. There's a special kind of love that hides in the smallest, quietest corners of life. It's the kind of love you can't always see unless you slow down and really pay attention. This is the kind of love where a man notices everything about you, not just the big, obvious things, but the little details most people overlook. He's the one who catches the way your eyes light up when you talk about something you're passionate about. He notices when you change your hair, even if it's just a little trim. He remembers the sound of your laugh, the way you wrinkle your nose when you're confused, the songs you hum without realizing it. These are not random observations. They are pieces of you he's collecting, storing away in the quiet space of his heart. See, when a man loves you in silence, his attention becomes sharper than most. He's tuned into the small things because those are the moments that make you feel real to him. Anybody can notice the obvious beauty, but he's watching the in-between moments. The way you tap your fingers on the table when you're thinking. The way you tilt your head when you listen to someone. The little phrases you say that no one else notices, but he hears every single time. That's how you know his feelings are deep, because he's studying you like you his favorite story, one he never wants to stop reading. This man doesn't just hear your words, he listens to your silences. He can tell when something's bothering you, even if you don't say it. He can feel when you're holding something back. He's paying attention to the way your mood shifts, and he tries to bring you comfort without you having to ask. It might be a simple text to check in. It might be offering to spend time with you when he senses you need company. It might just be sitting quietly next to you so you know you're not alone. That's not by accident. That's love disguised as awareness. And the thing is, this level of noticing doesn't happen by chance. It's intentional. When a man is secretly in love, he invests time and energy into learning the little pieces of who you are, because that's how he stays close to you without crossing the line. Every detail he holds on to is a way of keeping you with him, even when you're not around. You might not even realize how much he's noticed until one day he surprises you by remembering something you mentioned once, months ago, in passing. You might have forgotten you even said it, but he didn't, because to him, every piece of you matters. Now, this isn't the kind of man who's going to come right out and tell you all of this. He's not going to say, I noticed you were wearing that necklace you love, or I know you're quieter than usual today. No, he'll just act on it. He'll make sure you have what you need. He'll adjust his behavior to match your mood. He'll create a space where you can feel comfortable and safe, even without words. And you might think it's just him being a good friend, but it's more than that. It's love in its most observant, attentive form. When a man notices you this deeply, it means you've taken up residence in his thoughts. You're not just a passing interest. You're someone he's quietly building his world around. His eyes are trained to find you in every room. His mind is tuned to remember every detail you reveal. And even if he never says it out loud, every little thing he notices is a silent confession, a way of telling you, I see you, I value you, I care for you more than you know. In a world where so many people are distracted, being truly noticed is rare. And when a man does it because he loves you, even in secret, it's one of the purest and most genuine expressions of the heart you will ever experience. There's a kind of man whose love is so steady, so genuine, that you might not even notice it at first because it doesn't come with big, flashy declarations. He's the man who supports your dreams quietly without making it about himself. He doesn't try to take the spotlight or control your path. Instead, he stands just far enough in the background to let you shine, but close enough to catch you if you fall. His joy comes from seeing you win, from watching you grow, from knowing you becoming everything you were meant to be. That's his reward, not the credit, not the attention, just the simple fact that you're living your life fully. This kind of man doesn't compete with you, he compliments you. He celebrates your victories like they're his own. And when you hit a setback, he's right there with words that remind you of who you are and what you're capable of. He's the one saying you've got this, even when you're doubting yourself. And here's the thing, he doesn't just cheer you on when the crowd is watching. He's there in the quiet moments too, the ones no one else sees. Late night pep talks, checking in before a big day, sending you something small just to remind you he believes in you. Those are the moments that show his love is real. A man like this is an anchor in a storm. He's steady when life is shaky, and he's the first to remind you of your worth when the world tries to make you forget it. You'll notice he never tries to outshine you. If you're getting attention, he lets you have it without making it about himself. If you're struggling, he doesn't criticize. He builds you back up. He's invested